The Sandlot has been released in 1993, and ever since then, people have loved this movie. Now you're probably wondering why I'm reviewing this movie, since I said that I wouldn't be reviewing that many classics anymore. But one of my family members has been asking me to review The Sandlot ever since I started my channel, which has been over a year. And I finally decided to do it. Now this is my cousin's favorite movie next to The Mighty Ducks. And while this isn't my favorite movie of all time, I still really like The Sandlot. It's not perfect in my eyes. I know that some people find this movie to be perfect, but I don't. There are a few problems with this movie, and while we're on the topic of that, I might as well just get my problems out of the way so I can talk about the positives. Now, some of the child acting is bad. I was kind of shocked when I revisited this movie a couple days ago because I wasn't expecting it to be bad. But after thinking about it, it makes sense. This was released in 1993, almost 30 years ago, and they're also child actors, so they're not going to be perfect. But I will say that the child acting is pretty good for the most part. It's actually really good compared to some child acting that I've seen. Now, as to be expected, there are moments where they do slip up, and that takes me out of the movie every single time they slip up. I don't know if it was like a script problem or misunderstanding, but there were definitely moments where the child actors didn't know how to deliver their lines, and it makes for some very awkward and wooden moments. Now, the editing is actually pretty terrible. It's trying to add a different style to this movie, but it doesn't work because the editing is placed at such odd places that it destroys any potential that the editing could have ever had. It's really misplaced, and it is easily the worst part of the entire movie. But now let's move on to the positives. And what I love most about The Sandlot is that it understood the mind of a child. It's very easy for adults working on a movie about children to really misunderstand the mind of a children. But in here, it's done perfectly, I'd say. The kids in here do what kids did and still do to this day. They play sports, they go to the pool, they get in trouble, like they shoot tobacco and like steal family members' prized possessions for their own benefit. And they also have crushes on people way older than their age. And it instantly sucks you into the world of Sandlot because the crew understood how kids act to such a tremendous degree that it makes this movie feel real. There are moments where you forget that you're watching an actual movie and you feel like you're watching these kids do these things in real life. Now, the activities that the kids do aren't the only thing that the filmmakers understood. They also understood the fear of a child. Now, the climax isn't anything huge. It's just a bunch of kids trying to get a ball back from a dog that they feared for a very long time. But since they established this dog and you only hear the sounds that it makes and you don't see the dog until the very end, your imagination is allowed to go crazy. It makes the climax all the more suspenseful. And you are on the edge of your seat whenever the kids try to get the ball back because it just feels so real and human. The movie is fun from beginning to end. Despite the mishaps in this movie, like the bad child acting and the very bad editing, they don't affect your enjoyment of the movie that much. The best way I can describe The Sandlot is to say that it's a movie where you just have to kind of sit back and relax and accept what the characters are doing on screen, and it more likely than not should work for you. This movie is also extremely iconic. There's so many iconic moments in here. My cousins have quoted to no end, and even I have started quoting them by this point. Like the whole s'more scene and the lines, "You're killing me, Smalls," and "You play ball like a girl." That's only like the tip of the iceberg of these iconic moments, and it's really fun to quote them and see them whenever they pop up. Overall, The Sandlot is just a really fun movie. You're just gonna get a bunch of fun, relatable scenes strung together in a very nostalgic movie. And that's all The Sandlot really is. It's not perfect by any means, but sometimes you just gotta accept that this is a fun movie and it's not trying to be anything big. So I'm gonna give The Sandlot an 8 out of 10. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll be back soon with new reviews, so stay tuned for those. You can follow me on social media. I'll have that linked in the description. And that's about it for now. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.